Hello everyone, welcome to our TESOL Global YouTube channel. This is our Raspberry Pi for Embedded Computing series. So in this video, we will explain how to do remote access with Raspberry Pi. So remote access refers to the ability to access and interact with a computer for network from a remote location, typically through a network connection. Raspberry Pi remote access techniques include SSH or serial shell. So it is mainly connect the Raspberry Pi through a terminal. Then we have VNC or virtual network computing. So it needs VNC client installed in user PC to access Raspberry Pi remotely. And we have Raspberry Pi Connect. So this can provide both connections similar to VNC and SSH. It is done through Pi Connect server and it is currently in beta version. So we'll show all these three techniques and how to do this. So you can select whatever is necessary for you. Before going ahead, we would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel if you are benefited from our content. Also click the ring bell to get notifications whenever our new video will be released. It's just show more than 50% of our viewers didn't subscribe to our channel. So please subscribe and help us to grow our channel so that we can provide much more quality contents. So to do the remote access, we'll use the same setup as before. The only change is we are using now a bigger display. So why we didn't use this display in our previous video is because this display requires a HDMI mini connection. So I didn't have the HDMI mini cable. So what I did is I bought a HDMI to HDMI mini converter. You can see this. So you can use also similar device if you have such problems. So now we can use this converter to connect our bigger display to the Raspberry Pi. So now we are turning on our Raspberry Pi. So before starting your remote access, one key thing you need to do is you have to go to the Wi-Fi symbol, and if you just hover around the Wi-Fi, you will see that it will bring out the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So you just have to note that IP address. So if I zoom in, you can see this is the IP address, it's written IP. Next, based on what technique you want to use, you can go to the Raspberry Pi symbol, operating system symbol, and then go to the preferences, go to Raspberry Pi configuration, go to interfaces, and here if you want to do the remote access through SSH, you can enable this, or if you want to do with VNC, you can enable this. For the Raspberry Pi Connect, we'll show it later how to do it. So you can also enable these options during the operating system installation for Raspberry Pi. So now I'm back into my main computer, and first we'll see how to connect the Raspberry Pi using SSH. To do that, you can use different terminal softwares. So there are softwares like PuTTY, and there is software like Real Terminal and also Docklite. So you can use any of those to do the SSH connection of your Raspberry Pi. So we'll use PuTTY because it's freely available and it's very popular software. So to do the SSH connection with PuTTY, first you'll go to this website and you'll have to download PuTTY. So you can download the Windows version or like any other version as per your requirement. Once it's downloaded, if you go to the download, you can see here, you can double click it and you can install it in your computer. So I already have installed it, so I'm not going to install it again. So now we can turn on the putty. As I said, I already have installed it. You can see it here. If I click it, it will bring up this window. So here you can see the window. From here you can add your IP address of your Raspberry Pi, which I showed you earlier. You have to record that. And here we will do the SSH connection, so it is selected as SSH. You can also do different serial communication with the software. So in that case, you have to select the serial and you have to select different option of your serial communication. So now if we give the IP address of our Raspberry Pi and click open, it will bring up window like this. So it's asking us login as, it means like it's asking for the username. So I added my username and it's asking for the password. So if I give the password and click enter, then it's connected. You can see this is my Raspberry Pi terminal. So from here you can do different things, like you can run a Python script, or you can update your Raspberry Pi, or you can do some software installation. So here, just for an example, I'll just show our Raspberry Pi version. So to check the Raspberry Pi operating system version, you have to use this command cat/etc/os release. So now if I press enter, it's showing the operating system version installed in my Raspberry Pi. Next, we will see how to do the remote access with VNC. So in SSH or in terminal, you can only see the terminal window and you cannot do anything else or anything much. So if you want to access the whole desktop of the Raspberry Pi, and if you want to access the folder system, so you need to do the VNC or you need to do the Raspberry Pi Connect. So to do the VNC or virtual network computing, first you have to install a VNC client. So again, there are different VNC clients available. So there are Tiger VNC, there are Real VNC. So we are going to use Tiger VNC in this series as it's free. To install Tiger VNC, first you have to go to their website, and from here you can download the Tiger VNC software. If you go to the GitHub release page, from here you can download it and you can install it. We already installed it, so we are not going to install it again. So after installing Tiger VNC client software, if you open the software, it will bring this kind of window. So here first is asking your the VNC server IP address. So I entered the IP address of my Raspberry Pi. Then you have to click connect. It will ask you for the username and password of your Raspberry Pi. If I enter the username and password and then click connect, it will bring me the Raspberry Pi desktop window. So this is the same desktop window of our Raspberry Pi. So from here you can make any changes or you can run any kind of software. So for example, you can go from here and go to the preferences. You can configure your Raspberry Pi from here. You don't need to go to your main Raspberry Pi to do it. So you can change the interfaces from here, and anything you want to do, change the password, or you can run the Python script from here. So again, we can check the operating system version of our Raspberry Pi from here. So if we click enter this command, it will bring up our Raspberry Pi operating system version. Also, you can go to the file systems from here and make any changes you want to do. You can access your Chromium software from here. So it will give you the full Raspberry Pi desktop experience. So next we will try out the last technique, which is the Raspberry Pi Connect. So to do the Raspberry Pi Connect, first you have to create a Raspberry Pi account. So now we'll go back to our main Raspberry Pi and show you how you can do that. So now we are back to our main Raspberry Pi desktop. So from here, if I zoom in to the right corner, so here you can see this icon beside the Bluetooth icon. So if you click this icon, it will ask you to do. So it will ask you to turn off the Raspberry Pi Connect or turn on the Raspberry Pi Connect. So I already did turn on the Raspberry Pi Connect. So it's asking me if I want to turn off this or not. So you can turn it off and again try. So now if we again click it, it's asking for turn on the Raspberry Pi Connect. So if you click here, it will turn it on. So it brought me to the Raspberry Pi Connect sign in window. So from here you can create your account. It's free account to do the Raspberry Pi Connect. So we already have an account. So we'll just click sign in. So now I'm signed in and it is asking me to create the access token to complete the sign in. So now if I click here, now my Raspberry Pi is connected to the server. So from the server, now we can access the Raspberry Pi remotely. One thing you can see, once it's connected to the server, this icon will turn blue and it will show you signed into Raspberry Pi Connect server. So now we can access from our main computer to this Raspberry Pi. Now I'm back to my main computer and I open the Raspberry Pi Connect beta website. From here, if I click sign in, it will bring me to this window and here I'll sign in with my Raspberry Pi ID. It's asking me to enter my email address and password, so I'll do that. Now if I click sign in, so now I'm signed into my Raspberry Pi Connect account and from here you can see this is the token I created and from here I can now connect to my Raspberry Pi through the Raspberry Pi Connect server. So to connect, you'll go to connect via. You have two options here. You can do the screen sharing and you can do the remote shell. So screen sharing is same as VNC client remote access. So if we click screen sharing, it's now connecting with my Raspberry Pi. So you can see now it's connected to my Raspberry Pi. Again from here you can access all the functionality of the Raspberry Pi. So you can click the Raspberry Pi icon. Again it will bring you all the options you can access. You can do the web browsing or you can do the file system or you can access the terminals. So now if we come back to our account, from here again you can click the connect via and you can click remote shell. So this will connect to the terminal window of Raspberry Pi. So again, based on your application, you can either select the whole desktop access or you can just access the terminal. So these are the three methods you can use to access your Raspberry Pi remotely. So this is the end of this video. You can find the details in our TESOL Global website as well. In our next video, we will show how to blink LED, which is the first test we do whenever we start to use a new embedded system. So please subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We would like to thank those who already subscribed and helping us to grow our channel. Add likes and comments and give us suggestion of what kind of video you want us to make. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter or X and in Facebook. Thank you for watching. See you next time.